You're called an Andhbhakt.
I've abused more BJP governments than perhaps people in Congress have. So no one can say that.
Except Haryana, you don't.
Why? I've mentioned Rekha Gupta. I've mentioned Mohanlal Yadav. Incompetent people. I love Mr. Vajpayee. I adore Dr. Manmohan Singh. And I think Narendra Modi is good for this country. I still believe this conversation about Hindu, Muslim must stop.
But how will politics happen? How will elections
That I don't
happen?
care. I'm not a politician.
Is he a divisive?
He is not. What did Mrs. Gandhi do? The appeasement of communities began with Mrs. Gandhi.
How do you manage, Suhel Seth, to be friends with Mukesh Ambani and Gautam Adani, Rusi Modi, Ratan Tata, Sheila Dikshit, Atal Bihari Vajpayee?
What has always worked for me are salons, conversations. I don't do idhar ki baat udhar because that's not my scene and I don't have the time.
You don't have time for gossip, Suhel Seth?
My friend Ryan does. The point is that Calcutta allows you.
It's Kolkata now.
That I don't care. I still call it Madras. I still call it Bangalore.
Rules don't apply to Suhel Seth?
I will always say Republic of India. I will not say Republic of Bharat.
The education system, we've just seen a huge furor, protests on the kind of education we have.
Our education is miserable. Let's stop blaming an unknown entity called the system. We are the system. We are convenient crusaders. And for all those people in chiffon and silk, they're limousine liberals.
That is my problem. The rich people get away with blue murder, and the price is actually paid by those who are fighting for survival.
Being poor in India is a curse.
Just gone through a situation where the police lathi charge, abuses were happening. Where are we going?
Who will you blame?
No, so you like this evolution.
Leadership is about applying balm. Leadership is not about pangabazi.
We have to have a thick skin.
No. You've just got to have a great sense of humor and satire and wit.
But what Udaynidhi Stalin said, was that wit, satire, what was it?
It was vulgarity of a stupid kind. Ignore it.
Is corruption become part of life acceptable?
Yeah. We believe that bribe is a part of getting the job done.
But then the common man will ask, then why are we paying our taxes? That is being used as 2,500 rupees in people's accounts so that elections can be won.
We have a toothless election commission. It's a shame.
One word for the cockroach Janata Party.
Disruptor.
Is Rahul Gandhi delilu in believing that he can be the next prime minister?
Aspiration or ummeed पे दुनिया कायम.
Priyanka Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi leading Congress?
Priyanka is more amiable and less insulated. So leading the party, yes, she.
Is Prashant Kishore the next Kejriwal?
I think Prashant would be very insulted if you said, is he the next Kejriwal?
Narendra Modi.
Stubbornly focused.
Amit Shah.
Strategically focused.
Yogi Adityanath.
Purposefully focused.
Rahul Gandhi.
Disruptingly focused.
Priyanka Gandhi.
Not yet focused.
Arvind Kejriwal.
My grandmother would say of him, Misna. ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ trust ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ.
Baatein Dil Se. And my guest today is somebody probably who will not even allow me to ask a question. Suhel Seth. Actor, theatre artist, marketing guru, commentator, somebody who has written several books. What have you not done, Suhel, in all these years?
Lost 10 kilos of weight, which I will.
From where?
No,
Up here?
not from the brain, but hopefully from the other parts. But no, there's a lot I haven't done. I haven't. I've been to the Arctic. I've been to the Antarctic. I haven't climbed Mount Everest, which I don't think I ever will.
Mount Everest should come to you.
No, I'm not Muhammad.
Okay.
And no, I haven't done many things here. A complete life is a curse. There was a very famous saying that you must always live with divine discontent. The moment you're content, you're dead. Because then there's nothing to look forward to. So I always believe whatever I've done, whatever I've achieved or not achieved, is only thanks to my parents. I haven't seen God, so I can't say, it's thanks to God. But I think my parents, I have to thank. And those are the two people I will always thank and always cherish. And I think that is what we as human beings should be worried about, should care about. You know, keep your parents closer than even God. And that's my life's purpose. And I
But how
hope.
do you manage, Suhel Seth, to be friends with Mukesh Ambani and Gautam Adani, Rusi Modi, Ratan Tata, Sheila Dikshit, Atal Bihari Vajpayee? How do you manage to be on every page three party? How do you manage to be all over the world at the same time? How do you manage all of this? How do have you written a book on how to make friends, Suhel Seth style?
Well, I should write a book on how to make enemies, but it's an interesting question. The day you start working assiduously towards cultivating a friendship, it'll never happen. A. B. Friendships are not born out of material need or quid pro quo. And I'm blessed that I've had relationships very long standing, some very brief, but where they've been long standing, it's because of mutuality of respect. Look, there's nothing that I can do for most of the names that you've mentioned. Some are dead. There's nothing they need from me. There's nothing they can't get done elsewhere. Do I give them a laugh? Perhaps. I don't do idhar ki baat udhar because that's not my scene and I don't have the time. I'm far too busy, Navika, doing what I like doing. And I just don't have the time for innuendos or gossip for the simple reason that it doesn't do anything for me.
You don't have time for gossip,
I
so
don't.
he'll say.
My friend Ryan does, who was on your show, not in a malicious way. Ryan does. I don't. But Ryan also has the time because he is out there. I'm nowhere compared to.
You're
Uh,
at every party,
not
Suhel.
at
Come
all.
on, stop being.
Not at all. I used to be, but
Okay.
no longer because I'm traveling like a fiend, which you know. I also believe that there are many parties or what you call parties. First, I don't go to clubs. So you won't find
You
me
go to five
clubbing.
stars or
No,
seven
no.
stars.
I don't mean those kind of clubs. I love the clubs that we have. Like, in Calcutta, we have Saturday Club, Tollygunge Club, Bengal Club. Delhi, you have Delhi Golf Club. Well, you had Delhi Gymkhana. The point is, you must always do something that can be memorable and that you can cherish. What has always worked for me are salons, conversations. When I moved to Delhi, I was blessed to be invited and meet people like, let's say, a Mala Singh or a Pawan Verma. You have intelligent conversations. I mean, you can ask Pawan when he was the ambassador to Cyprus, and I went on a holiday there, and Pawan Verma said, "Oh, I booked this restaurant." That nothing. Every evening, I would cook oda chane ki dal, chonke hue aloo, and his late mother and his wife now Renu would cook mutton curry. I've told you 100 times that when you have all these fancy dinners, don't call me, and you never do. I'm much happier with the mutton curry at
I
your
don't
house.
have fancy
Well,
dinners.
whatever.
Suhel.
So the point is that Calcutta allows you the confidence of living with yourself.
But you left Calcutta a long, long
But
time
Calcutta
ago.
hasn't left me. And I've always said, Calcutta
It's
as a
Kolkata
city,
now.
that I don't care. I still call it Madras. I still call it Bangalore. I still call it Gurgaon, which is
Rules
sinking.
don't apply to Suhel Seth.
It's not about rules. It's what you grew up with. It's what you grew up with. I will always say Republic of India. I will not say Republic of Bharat. Not because I have an aversion to the word Bharat, but I'm happy with Republic of India. And it doesn't take away from either my patriotism, my nationalism, my passport. My passport still says Republic of India. Nomenclature, as Shakespeare said, what's in a name? A rose smells as sweet, if by any other. The point, Navika, is we are building too many barriers. And I just want to spend some time, because you've done so much in your life, of telling you about Calcutta. I
was
wrote.
born there.
Well, there you are. That's part of your redeeming features. Calcutta
And
is
you're going to define my redeeming
no, I'm
features
just
on
saying,
this
it's
podcast.
pride without prejudice. There is a certain charm to that city. There's a charm. They don't care what you own, what you drive in, where you live. It's what you know. How you can engineer and charm through a conversation.
Is it still the same Calcutta that you grew up in?
Absolutely the same.
Hasn't it changed?
Mamta Banerjee could have erected mosques and temples and churches and whatever else. You can't take the soul away. See, the oldest living city in the world is Varanasi. And I remember I did a play called The Fakir of Benares, where I played 21 characters. And researching for that,
Oh, you've beaten Sanjeev Kumar, who did 9 at
but
the
he
most.
did it in cinema, which is easier. I had to do it on stage. So the best fun that was had was by the costume designer because she had to change. I had to go in for multiple changes. But when I was researching Varanasi, I discovered that in Varanasi, the soul that we always say, when Hindus cremate their dead, they say na ki atma reh jati hai, sharir chala jata hai. Calcutta is like that. Calcutta remains in your DNA. Calcutta is it's about conversations. It's about the adda. It's about disagreement without being disagreeable. Today, disagreement means almost like George W. Bush II and Dick Cheney. Either you're with me or against me. Calcutta doesn't have that.
You can coexist with your differences. But has the world changed?
Of course it's changed. It's changed because the world was never supposed to be this way. Read a book by Kenichi Ome, who was the managing partner of McKinsey in Japan in the 90s. And he wrote a fascinating book called A Borderless World. And he says that in a borderless world, what will happen? But even he hadn't imagined that, we would see the kind of changes. National identity, religion. Religion was meant to be private. Today it is public. We never tom-tommed our religion. We never needed to. In any case, like me, I'm a born Hindu. Hinduism is a way of life. It is a faith. You can't convert to only two. You can't convert to Zoroastrianism and you can't convert to Hinduism. For me, anyone saying that आपको temple जाके अपना Hinduism establish करना होगा, not at all.
So you don't go to temples?
I do. I love going to temples. When Lakshmi and I got married in 2018, 2019, we were in Cochin. And I said, let's go to Guruvayur. And there, like all, Hindus, we mangoed a mannat, which was, we want a child. And then we had Gayatri in November 2019. Now, you can attribute it to the mannat, but I believe there is a superior power. So I'm not against temples or churches. On my phone screen, I have the Darbar Sahib. I go every year to Darbar Sahib. For me, Darbar Sahib represents serenity. It represents what Guru Nanak Dev said about all of us, saying, we are Ik Onkar, one universe. So these are learnings, Navika, that you get based on knowledge. Education is finite. Knowledge is infinite. Knowledge gives you context. I've done so many speeches where I've said, read till you die. Because if you don't read, you don't have an opinion, you don't have context, and you cannot carry forward a knowledge legacy.
But people in today's world have lots of opinions, certainly not based on the reading that they've done, but on impressions they've formed uh, out of thin air, number one. Number two, uh, you talk about marketing, you talk about catch lines, you come up with all kinds of definitions, you're great with words on the one hand, and then you talk about going to temples and all. uh, is this an image that you've cultivated,
Not at all.
Suhel?
I don't need to. Winston Churchill famously said, the only person you've got to be popular with is your spouse. I don't need to be popular. And I'm not popular.
And you married pretty late.
Yeah, at 56. See, the thing is कि भाई आप नाविका के साथ popular हो जाओ, उसके साथ popular हो जाओ. No. When I first moved to Delhi, I remember someone telling me that, oh, don't leave the lunch table first. You'll get bitched out. I said, by the way, I'm a marketing person. No matter when you leave the lunch table, you will still be bitched out. So I don't need to wait
Is
till.
that Delhi or is that universal?
No, it is primarily Delhi, and now Bombay has also got afflicted. Calcutta is inured. It's insured from this. In Calcutta, there was a
They
person.
don't bitch?
There's a person called Naresh Kumar, one of our famous tennis players. Every New Year's Eve, I was at their home. Every New Year's Eve. And I wrote saying, when he passed, saying that with the passing of Naresh, it's not just the passing of an era. And I also wrote that if you don't meet someone at Naresh Kumar's house on that New Year's Eve, consider that that person has passed because they'll be there. There is a consistency to human
Who is
emotion.
this Naresh?
He was a very famous tennis player.
Oh, tennis player, you said.
One of India's most glorious tennis players, Davis Cup captain, and a brilliant human being. And he was also a very close friend of Rusi Modi's and Mr. Tata's. And he was a great human being. And, these are the things that Calcutta teaches you. When you go to a Saturday club or you go to a Tolerance club or you go to a Bengal club, you will know all the waiters, but you will not call them waiters. You will not say, hey. You ought to say Aleem Bhai or Salim in CCFC, like that. That is a trait that is very Calcutta-like.
So tell me, when you were growing up in Calcutta, you studied in the Jadavpur University, La Martiniere before that.
And before that, St. Joseph's, Nainital.
Uh, you picked up so much of Calcutta. You even acted in films of Mrinal Sen. Tell me a little bit about that phase of life.
So what happened was, in 1965, if you remember, I was 2 years old then. In 1965, the UDF government was formed in Bengal. But around the late 60s, 68, 69, the Naxalite movement began. And it began because there was a fear that men folk from rural areas were migrating to urban areas. Why? Because the economy, there was joblessness in the rural areas. The Naxalite movement was actually founded on the playing fields of Presidency College. There were two architects of it, Oshim Chatterjee and Charu Mazumdar. But then it took a violent turn. And what Siddharth Shankar Ray did, to my mind, was pretty unfortunate. But he went after them, and by which time there was chaos in Bengal. Industry fled, gheraos happened. My grandfather had set up India's first bulk drug manufacturing company, Henry S. Clark. And every day, Navika, there were no mobiles, phone lines rarely worked. My father would be gheraoed, my grandfather would be gheraoed, the family would be threatened. And then my parents decided to send me to Nainital, to St. Joseph's. Field Marshal Manik Shaw was a very, very dear friend of my grandfather's, of Gangaram Seth. In fact, Field Marshal Manik Shaw attended the Mundan of my younger brother, because he was then GOC&C Eastern Command. And every Sunday, I would go to Manik Shahji's command house in Alipur with puri, aloo and halwa, because he's also from Amritsar. Little known fact. And General Manik Shah at that time, he became Field Marshal later, told my grandfather, he said, Gangaram, send him to Sherwood, because he was from Sherwood. At that point in time, Sherwood had some dip. And they decided that, no, we'll send him to St. Joseph's. So I went to St. Joseph's in 1971, when I was 8 years old. And those were superb, superb years. I mean, many years my senior, but you had Nasiruddin Shah. You had, I think, Kabir Bedi was also there. It was a great school. When I came back to Calcutta, because my grandfather passed, and my grandmother wanted me, back home, then I joined La Martiniere, which was, again, superb. And one was encouraged. You had doyens there. You had people like Shamanand Jalan, who encouraged me to do theatre. Shamanand was one of the most brilliant lawyers in Eastern India, if not in India. And he says, Chalo, ab natak karte hain. So I still remember plays like Kawa Chale Hans Ki Chal, which we would stage at Padatik. And that's how theatre began. Then I worked with Badal Sarkar, who directed the famous play Michil. And that's how it happened. Then, I was auditioned and selected for Bhutto by I.S. Johar. And I went to Lotus Court in Bombay, and Johar says, "Oh, you're very short, so wear heels and then act the scene." Acted, he says, "I'm selecting you, but the copyright for the play is in your name. So if you don't play Bhutto, it can't be staged." Came back to Calcutta. There was one line in the play where Bhutto behind bars tells Ziaul Haq, "You're talking about democracy? Is there democracy anywhere in the subcontinent? Is there democracy in India? There is a dictatorship in India." And he was referring to Mrs. Gandhi. Mrs. Gandhi banned the play.
Okay.
So I decided that I would go to Jyoti Babu. Jyoti Basu was chief minister. No appointment, nothing. Asked, I forget his assistant's name, and he says, "Yeah, Jyoti Babu will meet you at Writers' Building." Went to Writers' Building. I told Jyoti Babu, I said, "Sir, this is what's happened." And I was we staged the play in 82. So I was about 20, 21. And Jyoti Babu looked at me, "Bolo, ki hoise?" Means what's happened? I said, "Mrs. Gandhi has banned the play." "Who is she to ban the play in my state?" I said, "Exactly my point." The play was staged at the G.D. Birla Sabhagar in 1982. Jyoti Basu, we purposely got Bimal Chandra Basak, who was the acting Chief Justice of Calcutta High Court, and B.K. Shah, the police commissioner, lest there be any interventions. That play, we did about 170 shows, and of that...
After banning.
After banning. I mean, it was banned in Delhi, but after that it was removed. And this is how you make... You're talking about friendships? Kushwant Singh was invited to see the play at Shriram Center in Delhi. I'd never met him. After the play comes, shakes my hand, I'm on stage. "Kal roti khai mere naal." I said, "Done." He had a sign outside his house in Sujan Singh Park, "Please do not ring the doorbell unless you're expected." And I rang the doorbell at 7 p.m. He says, "Putter ki laenga?" I said, "Main te ji old monk." "Whiskey?" I said, "Nahi ji." That's how our relationship began. And then I told him, I said, Calcutta is dying for a book to be written on it. I said, "Who should I get?" So he says, "You co-author this with me." I said, "But for the drawings, Lakshman no asi puchange."
R.K. Lakshman.
And I went to R.K. Lakshman about a week later in Bombay. I go to the Times of India, Dr. D.N. Road building at
Old Lady of
8:30
Boribandar.
8:30 a.m. I think there was an editor, Dina, I forget her name,
Dina Vakil.
and Lakshman's room was next to her. I had no appointment, but I barged in.
In that long corridor at the end of the corridor.
And you could never barge into R.K. Lakshman's
No.
room.
I joined my first job there, and when I wore shoes and walked, he would come out of the room.
Don't make a noise.
That don't make a noise. And I've often carried my shoes in my hand so that when you pass R.K. Lakshman's room, there's no noise, because the Economic Times newsroom
Was
was
next door.
just past his room.
So when I walked in, Lakshman says, "Yes." I said, "My name is Suhel Seth, Kushwant Singh." I say, "You have an appointment?" I said, "No." I said, "But I have a great idea." I was supposed to be not even there. I spent the whole day, and at 4 p.m. he dropped me back in his black Ambassador. And we became lifelong friends. On the day
And
I
how
met
old
him,
were you then?
this is 82, 83. So 63. So
But
20
how
years.
did you get that kind of confidence to meet people of this kind, go strike conversation?
Because you have no agenda. And Lakshman, when I walked in, it's in my house here, he drew a sketch of mine on legal paper, yellow paper. I still have that sketch. Lakshman and I traveled on holidays. He, Kamakha, his wife, and me. And he had one rule. He hated music. So once I remember we were in Agra at the Taj, and there was some, classical music performance, and he just did this. And that manager thought something happened, so he came. I say, "If I want music, I will go to disco. No music here," I say. Then once he was at my house, staying with me in Calcutta. So I had a dinner for him. And one of the ladies came and said, "Look, he does crows. I want crows of his." I said, "Yeah." I went to Lakshman. I said, "She wants your crows. Can you draw them tomorrow in my office?" I said, "How much?" He says, "7." I say. I told the lady 7. Next day, she sent 700 rupees instead of 7,000. So I showed him this. "Tell the driver to wait," I say. He did one feather. I said, "Bull thing. I'm keeping the feather and I'm keeping the crows." Because I can say the story ad nauseum. And that is, I mean, with Lakshman, I met Nani Palkhiwala because he was a great pal of Nani Palkhiwala's. I'd already known another friend of Lakshman's who was Lakshman's big buyer, Mr. Irani, Kushro Irani of the Statesman. That's how you meet, yeah? Because then I guess people say, yeah, if Lakshman likes him, there must be something to like about him. I guess that's how it works.
But in today's world, the cynics would say Lakshman's not around for us to check with him.
Well, you can check. The books are out. The holidays are there. I mean, see, why would I need to lie about something that is easily
But that's the
verifiable?
point. That's the point I'm making. Are we living today in a world where cynicism is so deep that we don't take people at face value? Has life, in terms of development, developed so much that simplicity has gone out? Instead of making things simpler, we've complicated life.
But we are ourselves to blame. Please read a book by Roman Narzik. It's called A History for Tomorrow. Everything that we are doing today was already forecast ages ago. You talk about social media. Who was the inventor of social media in a manner of speaking? Cicero. Why? Well, every morning Cicero would write 600 letters and send them out to the citizens of Rome. Say 300 would come back with comments. He would then write his comments and send out another 600. Virality? Cicero. Lee Kuan Yew, the founder of Singapore, created a model of housing that all of us should identify with. Government housing in Singapore is proportional to ethnicity of the city-state. So if I'm building a block of 10 apartments, 80 will go to the Chinese, 10 will go to Indians, another 10 to Malay. And Lee Kuan Yew decided that there'd be one rule for all those buildings. They would not have balconies, but they would have very large corridors for people to intermingle. Balconies gives away your status, your wealth, or your belief, the way you hang your clothes or whatever. Each building to this day in Singapore has a community hall which can be used for praying, multi-faith, celebration, mourning, whatever it is. This is why reading is important, Navika. The problem today is we don't have scholarship. We have an opinion.
But the education system, we've just seen a huge furor, protests on the kind of education we have.
Our education is miserable. It is miserable because we don't pay, we don't treat our educators in the way we should. Look, I don't want to get into the NEET issue, genuine issue, or this issue or that issue. I'm talking to you from a simple perspective of if Navika Kumar goes and does class 1 to 10, 10 to 12, what has she actually learned? Now you might laugh at me and say, हाँ पर हमारे ज़माने में, we all say हमारे ज़माने में तो चीज़ें अच्छी थी. We could associate between a Premchand and a Dinkar and a Tagore.
And a Shakespeare.
When I quote Shakespeare, I can also quote Premchand, but I can also quote Gora and Hungry Stones, which were the short stories in addition to Kabuliwala written by Rabindranath Tagore. People can't. Why? Because they don't read. That is parental. Look, it is not the job of the school to force you or to encourage you to read. It is the job of your parents. When Gayatri was born, and I'm not saying this as a proud father, I'm just saying it very clinically. Lakshmi and I decided we would give her an ecosystem, but she would make whatever she makes of it. both in Gurgaon and in Goa, she's surrounded by books. She's taken to books. In Goa, we have 8 indies, 8 dogs. She's taken to pet care, to nature. We are providing the ecosystem. What you do with that ecosystem is up to you. My parents provided me a good education, but they also allowed me to become a member of the British Council, of the USIS, or the American Center as it was.
Yeah, we all
then.
went to those libraries, picked up books, read.
You
Read.
ask, there's a friend of mine, Atul Singh, who used to run Coca-Cola. Ask Atul, when Atul was dating his wife, Nandini, Nandini's father was Colonel Chadda, was the secretary of the Saturday Club, the toughest man on the goddamn planet. And I would walk every day back from British Council at 6 p.m. with 4 books in my hand. And I would steal myself into Saturday Club. Those days I wasn't a member. And, grab a chicken sandwich or something through a member. And always dodge. So Nandini, Atul's wife, always says that we have seen him growing up only with books. But that's what stays with you. There's an old Punjabi saying, "Tuada sab kuch le lange." They can take away your house, they can take away your spouse, they can take away your money. They cannot take away your knowledge. If you don't invest in knowledge, you have nothing.
But coming back to the education system, yes, we don't pay our teachers. It's probably the last option in a choice of career today. We have the administrative service, foreign service. We don't have a teaching service, which ideally should have been there. We do have those recruitment exams, but paper leak ho jate hain. So the angst
पेपर
is.
कौन लीक करता है? आप मेरे को ये बात बोलो. I totally empathize and I feel downright rotten about what happened. But it's we. Navika, it's we who are messing the system, which is what I've said in my book. We are making the system. People started making fun after demonetization, which happened on November the 8th, if my memory serves me right, in 2016 or 2015.
2016.
2016. And people say, oh, black money aa gaya. Kaun laya hai? Hum. We have brought it. So let's stop blaming an unknown entity called the system. We are the system. We make the system and then we curse the system when it suits us. We are convenient crusaders. And for all those people in chiffon and silk, including men and women, they're liberal, they're limousine liberals. You have to first change. It was very important for both Mahatma Gandhi and then Barack Obama to say, be the change within if you want to be the change outside. You can't straddle both universes. You can't blame the Prime Minister or the Home Minister or the Education Minister, no matter which government. कि भाई इनकी वजह से हो रहा है.
पर करता कोई है और सहता कोई है. I'm sure it is part of the society, people who go and buy these question papers. पर एक गरीब का बच्चा जिसने इतनी मेहनत की है, जिसके
totally agree.
पेरेंट्स ने इतने sacrifice किए हैं, that is my problem. And the rich people get away with blue murder, and the price is actually paid by those who are fighting for survival.
In fact, I don't want to say this in an amplified way. Being poor in India is a curse. And let me tell you why. They have no recourse to finance. A rich man can go rob a bank and still get a Padma Award. A poor man can't access a loan. If a poor gentleman or woman goes to a police station, they can't file an FIR. Their representatives in parliament, for whatever reason, their representations are about screaming and shouting and slanging matches. So, of what use is democracy? In a manner of speaking. Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government, but the only one we have. I'm not saying democracy is bad. Many people, and I deliver talks across the world, people said, oh, India is a poor country. I said, no, every country is poor. We were the world's richest country before the British came. Our poverty is the impoverishment of opportunities. See, the biggest curse is when you deprive people of the opportunity to become relevant or to be successful. आप बोलते हैं ना America is about meritocracy and all. There's caste system in America in a pernicious way. There's racism, but it rewards merit. In our country, we are beginning to reward merit. Let's
Are
not.
we?
Yes,
Are you
this.
convinced?
I'm 100% convinced. I'm seeing the young. I'm seeing matrimonial ads change, which, by the way, are the moral compass of a society. And I'm seeing more and more young people not doing what they would normally have done. Earlier, the mother or the father would have said, Beta,
Engineer.
IAS bano, doctor bano, lawyer, but no. Today you have 127 unicorns. Two young gentlemen have sent up Vikram. I mean, this is something we need to be positive about. Problem in India is we have become communists in our thinking. We have a problem for every solution. We always see a glass half full.
Communists are dying as a thought process, as an ideology.
But that's their thinking.
But
They
you're
always
saying,
had a problem. They always had a problem for every solution. And we are becoming like that. There is a lot, Navika, to celebrate about in this country. We have the world's greatest, to my mind, world's greatest intellectual heft. We are deeply spiritual. We are genuinely nice people.
are we?
Yeah, there are exceptions. Of course, there are exceptions. Point is, we are a civilizational legacy. On July the 4th, 2026, America completed 250 years of existence. You know what King Charles said when he went to the White House? He
He's
said
also a friend of yours.
very. He said in England for 250 years we'd say just the other day. In India, we are a civilizational legacy. There's a lot to be proud about. The fact that 12 of your ling temples, as it were, are on one.
Jyotirlingas.
The fact that you can't see any land from Somnath. Mohenjo-daro, Harappa. I mean, it's another matter that Gurgaon has been buggered beyond repair. But look at our architecture. Look at the palaces we created. Look at the roads we had. Whether you talk about the Grand
We
Trunk
had.
Road,
I'm talking about today.
it will happen.
So then why have you written this book?
No, this book is primarily written about it's solution driven. I've identified the problems, and I've identified the problems based on data. For instance, Gurgaon had 1,117 lakes. Today we have almost 72 or 80. Bangalore. We've had bridge collapses between 2021 and 2025. Almost 72 bridges collapsed. You remember what happened with Morbi. You remember what happened with the Elphinstone Railway Bridge. My book is that we need to be frustrated, we need to be angry, but we need to be solution providers. So towards the end of the book, I've said that these are the steps that we must take. These are the things that we do. Rather than send stupid WhatsApp jokes, talk about what's happening and what you can do.
So Jantar Mantar movement?
Not at all. I'm a great believer that protestation, for those who believe in it, it's their right. I'm a great believer you must have a solution which is workable by everyone without impinging on their work or home life. And I've said that we need to have more
So then if
accountability.
people have to find out all the solutions, what are governments for?
See, that's a good point. The old argument is that government is
Why
there
do
to
we pay
govern.
our taxes?
So that's one of the things I've said. In India, we are the only country which, when we go to get our driver's license renewed, we pay the agent, we pay the driving license fee, then we pay a fee to collect the driver's license.
That's not true, actually. I just got my driving
But you're
license
Navika Kumar.
renewed. No, I went as an ordinary person to check out the system.
So then
it worked very well.
So then you're only buttressing the point I'm making. That when things have to work, they will work. Please remember, and this is a very important point, Navika.
And they took my test and they made me do a reverse 8 and
Did
a
you pass?
forward 8. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm surprised.
No, we are the commoners. We drive our own cars, smaller
so do
ones
I.
than yours.
No, so do I. But I have to say, that's one thing I mentioned. Understand the bureaucracy's role. The bureaucracy, when it was created by the British, was to manage the colony, not to serve. post-independence, the role of the bureaucracy is to serve and not manage. They haven't got out of that conundrum.
So you're saying the IAS is more ICS?
Always. And I think, no, there are some very brilliant IAS officers. I remember doing Bhagidari, the word I gave Sheila ji to Sheila Dikshit for the RWA partnership. Who were the two bureaucrats? S. Regunathan, who was the chief secretary, and Rajiv Talwar. They made it happen. Pawan Khera made it happen. So you have good people in the system. So I'm not saying that I'm not tarring everyone with the same brush. Today, there's enough debate going about on Tukaram Munde. Damn good. We need people. We need people to swim against the tide if you need to ebb the flow of corruption in this country. And that must happen, no matter what. And you know that I'm no BJP, Congress, TMC fan.
Aren't you?
Not at all.
You're called Anand Bhakt?
Not at all.
As
No one
Rahul
has.
Gandhi, what?
No, no one has ever called me
Okay,
Anand
Bhakt.
Bhakt. No one has even said
Bhakt.
Bhakt. I've abused more BJP governments than perhaps people in Congress have. So no one can say that.
Except Haryana, you don't.
Why? I mentioned Rekha Gupta. I mentioned Mohanlal Yadav. I mentioned the chap in, what's his name? Sharma, or whatever his name is, in Rajasthan. There are a bunch of, to my mind, incompetent people. And please understand, I have always said, and I will say this today, I don't care. I'm no one's bhakt. I loved Mr. Vajpayee. I adored Dr. Manmohan Singh, adored him. And I think Narendra Modi is good for this country. No matter what people might say, it's my belief, it's my opinion. Narendra Modi I've known since 1999 when I was tasked by Jaswant Singh to handle Vajpayee's campaign. When Godhra happened, there was a lot written, blah, 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 I too wrote. In September 2008, I was in Ahmedabad for the...
you glossed over pretty quickly. Lot was written and
what
was your
written,
view?
No, I just said, let the law take its course, which it did. Please understand, cases were filed against Narendra Modi under which government at the center? The Congress.
Yeah.
Who exonerated him? The Supreme Court. So I'm very clear. You cannot have courts of convenience or election commissions of convenience. Jab aap jeette hain, then there's no EVM hacking. But jab aap haarte, then there's EVM hacking. You know, you can't have pleasure and pain in the same boat, as it were. In September 2008, I'm sitting with the then Chief Minister, with Modi, and he says, Suhel bhai, kal... नहीं, he says, आप रतन टाटा को मिलेंगे? I said, हाँ, कल मैं बॉम्बे में हूँ. उनको बोलिए, जब पारसीज भारत आए थे ना, तो नवसारी में आए थे. तो नैनो यहाँ ले आए. Because if you remember, in June 2008, Nandigram happened.
Yes.
On October the 2nd, Mr. Tata formally announced the withdrawal from Singur. And I told R&T the next day, and then obviously, Ravi Kant and the organization took it over. R&T mentioned to me, and he said it on television, a conversation that he and I had for a channel, where he says that Narendra Modi ensured all permissions and he gave a home to Nano. And you know what? I wrote about it. Lest people like you don't think, oh, R&T is not alive, this person is not alive, pata nahi ye hua ki nahi.
By the way, the first interview that R&T, Ratan Tata, gave on the signing of Nano
was to you.
Was to me.
I know.
On the day the MOU was signed.
In Sarant.
Yes. So your interview came later.
No. I did a conversation with him after the Cyrus issue.
Yes.
That was in 2017. No, point I'm making is that Modi made things happen. And I have to say that, like Dr. Manmohan Singh, of him was said that history will judge him much more kindly. You watch how history judges Modi. See, are there things perfect with the government? No, it's never perfect with anyone. People found fault with Margaret Thatcher. You remember Pan Am, the crash of Pan Am over Lockerbie. It was a huge dhabba at that time on Margaret Thatcher's reign. Margaret Thatcher was forced out of office. So, no government, no leader is perfect. People found fault with Delano Roosevelt. People found fault with John F. Kennedy. People have found fault across the ages with great leaders. Today, we are finding fault with Mahatma Gandhi, with Nehru. So, my point is, I believe, and you can argue with me, and I'm willing to debate this on facts. Narendra Modi has been good for India. Is everything perfect? No. I still believe this conversation about Hindu Muslim must stop. The Muslim of India is as Indian, if not more, than any other Indian. It is their country as much as it is anyone else's. They
But
did
how will
not.
politics happen? How will
That
elections
I don't
happen?
care. I'm not a politician. I will care about what I believe based on knowledge and based on conviction. I genuinely believe, Navika, that this country, and I say this out of seriousness, we cannot divide this country. We cannot. It doesn't need it. It doesn't deserve
So
it.
is he a divisive
He's
leader?
not. But sometimes I believe people within that party or people in other parties. By the way, what did Mrs. Gandhi do? The appeasement of communities began with Mrs. Gandhi. And I've always said, even when Said Shahabuddin was alive, there was a debate I still remember in the Constitution Club where I said that the Muslim community has been let down by the absence of a unifying leader. The last leader they had was Muhammad Ali Jinnah, in a true sense. After that, which leaders have you had? Owaisi is a great patriot, but does he rally the... You cannot have leaders of a community that are... Or you cannot have a community that is totally absent qua leadership. But my point is not about this. My point is that we've got everything going for us. Why have this? And let me tell you, people in India, especially we Hindus, we are forgiving and unforgiving. You built a temple in Ayodhya and you lost your seat from there. That
And then
tells,
Chanda Chori.
जो भी, that tells you a lot. तो ये आप जो सोचते हो ना कि हिंदूज एंड मुस्लिम्स को लड़ाई करा के आप इलेक्शंस जीतोगे, नहीं, दिल जीतो. इलेक्शंस नहीं, इलेक्शंस होते रहेंगे. You're talking about Bhakt and all that rubbish? Who wrote the first article in favor of Rahul Gandhi, which I still believe he did a sterling job with Bharat Jodo? I believe his heart is in the right place. On your program, on multiple times, I've used the phrase that I will never, ever, Navika, say he's anti-national. Never. He's not. He has other flaws. I think consistency is a major flaw. The ability to pursue a cause is a flaw. That's his thing. But to call him an anti-national is ridiculous. To say that he doesn't have India's interests at heart is ridiculous.
But has the society changed that इंसान को tolerate ही नहीं करता, treasury opposition को tolerate नहीं करती? There's no meeting ground. Have times changed?
No.
Have politicians changed? Have people changed? What's happened?
Times have changed. You know, Arun Jaitley famously said it's the job of the government to run parliament, not of opposition. तो फिर मैं आपको एक बात बोलूं, इस देश में ना एक जमाने में जो संसद हमारा होता था, you'd have great speakers. Why? A, they were great speakers. B, they were allowed to speak. Today we don't tolerate. We don't tolerate great speakers. You have some excellent speakers in parliament, whether it's Manoj Kumar Jha, whether it's the Prime Minister himself, Amit Shah, great speaker, Shashi Tharoor. You have great speakers in parliament, but no one allows them to speak. So it's like a circus.
Rahul Gandhi?
Rahul Gandhi, when he wants to speak, is a good speaker. Priyanka, excellent speaker. Look, let me tell you, we are blessed and cursed. We are blessed because we have some very fine people. We are cursed because we are our own biggest enemies by not allowing them the opportunity to serve in a calibrated manner.
पर कल 4 लोग protest कर रहे थे that CWG should be held in Haryana. Why is it held in Ahmedabad? What do you make of?
See, I'm a great believer. Ignore surround sound. There'll be a lot of people. When a caravan moves, dogs bark. Does the caravan stop? No. You do what you're supposed to do. When Arjun and Krishna were on the chariot, and Amartya Sen has written brilliantly about this in a book called An Idea of Justice, The Idea of Justice. Arjun says, and Amartya Sen paraphrase that, he says, in the wake of war, there'll be death, there'll be orphans, there'll be destruction. Do we still have to? And he says, yeah, it's
धर्म युद्ध.
dharma. It's a dharma युद्ध. तो आप अपने संस्कारों में, आप अपनी
तो
आप
अभी
अपने
जो चल रहा है
शास्त्रों
वो
में,
धर्म युद्ध.
no, it's stupid. Because if it was dharma युद्ध, you would see positive gains. The problem, Navika, is we have ourselves forgotten our own lineage or legacy, both in terms of democracy, in terms of parliamentary democracy, and in the way we respected people. It's still there. I've not given up hope. I don't believe it's the end. It never will be.
You're a marketing guru and you do brand stories. Where do you think India is as a brand?
Outstanding. 3 areas of neglect. And I've said this publicly, I will repeat. Number 1, we have neglected tourism like never before. And there I will say that what Narendra Modi has done for tourism in India, no one has. When he said Wed in India, it has actually spun that entire market to India. When, Karo Bharat ka darshan or Dekho Bharat, it's working. But look at the pricing. Look at the stupid CRZ norms. Do you know, it's a very interesting fact that I'm going to tell you. You cannot have a heating plate, a teppanyaki plate or a pizza oven on a terrace anywhere in India. Why? It's a Queen Victoria ke time ki law. So, if you want to serve someone a pizza, or you cannot have anything on a terrace. I mean, we have the most bizarre rules. Today, you see the Taj, you see the Oberoi, you see all these chains, see the Hyatt. I mean, it's unbelievable. The Hyatt in Delhi, its F&B makes more money than its rooms. These are things we should celebrate. Today, Indian cuisine across the world, the most difficult place to get into today is the Ambassador Club in New York. So we are coming of age. But we have miles to go, to quote Robert Frost. We have to change rapidly our infrastructure. We have to change behavioral norms within our country. Look at what's happening in Goa. It's a mess. It's insane. And to blame it on one government or the other, no, it's the people. But Pramod Sawant doesn't go get out of a bus and litter the place, na? We do. We do. And I mentioned in my book that you will find someone fling a packet of chips out of an expensive BMW because that's not his. So the service lanes in Delhi will be dirty, but the front of their house will be clean. That says a lot about us. Salman Khan's father, who I have a lot of respect for, Salim Saab, one day I asked him, I said, इस देश की हालत क्या है? तो he says, मैं आपको 2 चीजें बोलूंगा. He says, पुराने जमाने में अगर किसी स्मगलर का घर आलीशान घर होता था और हम टहलते जाते थे, हम बोलते थे, देखो, स्मगलर है, फालतू में. He says, आज जब जाते हैं बोलते, वाह, क्या घर बना है. Values have changed. Second.
So is corruption become part of life acceptable?
Yeah, we believe that bribe is a part of getting the job done. I have a lot of respect for him, for KP Singh, but, he gave an interview to a particular channel many years ago where he said, oh, I distinguish between speed, money, and bribe. Now, why would someone have to say that? Only because you don't get your work done. Having said that, there is still latent honesty in the system in many, many areas. Kerala, one of them, as a state. Bengal, I hope will get better. In our times, Bengal was not as corrupt. We didn't have Abhishek Banerjee. We didn't have all these guys. It was not that corrupt. Now I've been told it's corrupt. I don't know. I think if you're honest and willing to pay the price in terms of time, you will eventually win.
No, तो
but you
time ही
might
तो
die.
नहीं है.
Yeah.
Convenience
So
भी
you
तो.
might die before that. So that's true.
So are you saying that if you're saying that the choice is between speed money and dying, people will choose speed money, na?
Absolutely.
तो फिर
No, so that's the thing, which is why I said earlier, we are the system. We make the system up. To then blame the prime minister or the state chief minister or any other human being or a bureaucrat is unfair.
But then the common man will ask, "Ke phir then why are we paying our taxes? And just a few people are paying taxes. Baki, that is being used not for infrastructure or for addressing problems, but as 2,500 rupees in people's accounts so that elections can be won."
So that is my point. We have a toothless election commission. It's a shame that we have incompetent, inept people, not now, for years. After Session, I don't think we've had a decent election commissioner. I mean, Qureshi perhaps. And let me tell you why. Does the election commission not know how much money is being spent per seat? Of course they know. But do they do anything? Diddly jack. They are the ones who should be hauled over the coals in courts of law. Do you know that every candidate in the South, especially in Telangana and Andhra, they're spending 100 to 150 crores per Lok Sabha election? What is the legal permissible amount? 30,000.
No, lakhs.
30 lakhs. Where does the rest come? You tell me. इनको हिसाब लेना नहीं आता?
Calculator नहीं होगा.
So that's my problem. Everyone knows कि कलेश हो ही रहा है. Everyone knows स्यापा है ही, पर तुसी मुकाओगे नहीं तो फिर क्या होएगा? So the problem is you have to ask. And someone has to stand up and be counted.
So you're saying this can't be fixed? Yes, ही चलेगा.
No, I'm not saying it can't be fixed. I'm saying we'll have to fix it. And you're right. Then what will the government do? The government will adhere when accountability is sought. But more importantly, it depends on who you vote for. We are
But
still voting on caste lines.
accountability, we've just gone through a situation where the police lathi charge, abuses were happening. There's a crackdown on abuse, not just here in Jantar Mantar, but there is in Tamil Nadu as well. Where are we going?
We are becoming, I hate to use the word, we are becoming not intolerant. I don't want to use that word. We are becoming too goddamn touchy. I want to ask you a simple, honest question.
But things that
Do you
were
think-
said were obnoxious.
Of course, but that's what we become. Who will you blame? Will you blame a girl or a boy or a young man or a young woman? No, I would blame the parents. I would blame the education. We would never, have I abused? Of course, we all abuse. But would we ever abuse the office of the Prime Minister? I wouldn't. Would I abuse my school principal? Privately, perhaps, but I would never say it on his face or publicly. Would I ever say anything nasty about someone's parents? Never. Never. But that's me, and I'm not expecting everyone to be like me. To each his own. But I'm saying to then, file multiple cases and all. Which is why what the Prime Minister did was important and wise.
So you subscribe to these late night
No, I don't
Insta
subscribe.
reels.
It's not about the timing. It's about the content.
No, so you like this
leadership
evolution.
Leadership is about applying balm. Leadership is not about पंगाबाजी.
पर इसकी भी criticism होती है.
यार criticism हर चीज की होगी. आपके कपड़ों की होगी, मेरी पॉकेट स्क्वायर की होगी, सब चीज की होगी.
So we have to have a thick skin.
No. You've just got to have a great sense of humor and satire and wit. You know what the problem in India is?
We
have lost our sense of humor. We are unwilling to laugh.
But what Udaynidhi Stalin said was that wit, satire.
No.
What was it?
It was vulgarity of a stupid kind. Ignore it. He's intellectually warped or intellectually innocent. You don't have to respond to every stupid comment on the planet. Otherwise, you would do nothing else. भाई आप मेरे को बोलो, आपने उसको अरेस्ट किया, 3 घंटे में उसको तमिलनाडु हाई कोर्ट ने बरा किया. क्या फायदा? क्या फायदा हुआ? Did it get solved? No. Will they talk less about Trisha? No. Unnecessary. always let sleeping dogs lie.
But
There's
they're
a
not
reason.
sleeping, no?
Well, they should. You tell me, will that comment of Udaynidhi's ever win him an election? No. You think people will people will not remember? Of course they'll remember.
So you're saying, सब संत महात्मा हो जाए. संत महात्मा को कौन
Not
छोड़
at
रहा
all.
है?
I'm not saying Sant Mahatma. I'm just saying do what you're good at doing and do it diligently and honestly. The world will take care of its own self. We can't get involved and we can't pass an opinion or a judgment on every person's comments on everything that a person is doing.
But what do you think about what the government is now talking about? The algorithm wars. Algorithms are being, programmed in such a way,
It will
fixed
be,
in such a way that only anti one side gets the attention on social media,
but it
not the
will
other.
be. And it's par for the course. You see, if I can fix an algorithm, so can you. What happened with Zuckerberg and Facebook in the EU about election fixing? Everyone knows. You have to have the intelligence to discard what is clearly a plant. Many, many years ago, Khushro Irani was asked, are there any plants in the Statesman? He says, we run a newspaper, not a nursery. And I still remember that. The point is,
But social media has turned everybody powerful enough to put out an opinion and create a sea of opinion.
let them. It is stupid. Let them.
पर वो हवा बन जाती है.
नाविका, आप हवा कभी भी बने तो हवा विल ऑल्सो सीज ना. आप उस हवा में अपना संतुलन खोलो, उसमें क्या फायदा है?
पर ओके, देन लेट्स टेक अगेन द रीसेंट एग्जांपल. 20 दिन सरकार ने तो कुछ नहीं किया था जंतर मंतर में. 20 दिन चलने दिया था.
That was ill
लोगों ने
advised. That was ill
तो फिर
advised.
अब आप कह रहे हो कि पहले इंटरवीन कर दो.
No, no,
चलने देना चाहिए
No,
था.
no, no. I'm saying the government was asked to do something qua a particular minister. The minister eventually went. Whether he went on his own, was asked to go, that's irrelevant. I'm saying this could have been done differently, to my mind. But I'm not a politician. I never will be. I'm not an elected person in the country. They must have their reasons. The fact is, did Pradhan go? The answer is yes. Now I want to ask you something. Is Dharmendra Pradhan responsible by himself? No. We have created an education system which has had some formidable ministers from Nurul Hassan's time to Kapil Sibal, who's, erudite and intellectual. You had a string of HRD ministers, Murli Manohar Joshi. Where did you and what did you do with the education system? When you say the right to education is a fundamental right in our constitution, why are 72% of India's schools without teachers? Answer that to me. Why? You're giving me a right, but you're giving me an empty school building. You're telling me, हाँ, आपका हक है. हक किससे मांगो? कौन देने वाला है आपका हक? आप स्कूल क्यों जाते हो? पढ़ने के लिए ना. कौन आपको पढ़ाता है? टीचर. अगर टीचर ही नहीं है, तो आप क्या पढ़ाई करोगे? Can I tell you, a country is known by the libraries it builds.
हम लाइब्रेरी बनाते नहीं हैं.
That's my point. अब आपकी नेशनल लाइब्रेरी जो कलकत्ता में है, सुप्रीम. एशियाटिक लाइब्रेरी इन बॉम्बे, सुप्रीम. आप मेरे को बोलो, हम लोग स्टेडियम बना रहे हैं, ये बना रहे हैं, वो बना रहे हैं. किस आदमी ने ये डिसाइड किया है that I want to make a beautiful public library? A country is known by that. My point is, I'm not here to promote books ही पढ़ो. But यार, आपके पास context नहीं होगा. How are you keeping the children today busy? Debating has gone for a toss. Elocution has gone for a toss. Just a minute has gone for a toss. College festivals are becoming like, Bollywood festivals. तो भाई आदमी करे तो करे क्या? We were kept so busy, Navika. We didn't have time to breathe. We were always doing
अब भी
something.
बच्चों के पास टाइम नहीं है.
But I don't know what they're doing.
अब भी बच्चों के पास टाइम नहीं है. They have a tennis class, they have a dance class, they have a taekwondo class and all. So ऐसा तो नहीं है. At least in the private schooling kind of situation, वो बच्चों के पास time नहीं है.
But that is the problem. That's what they should correct.
Because as parents, do you think we are not spending enough time? How do you parent? And you became a
A very
father
old
at
parent,
56.
56.
गोडे मोडे चल दे.
All. And let me tell you, here I have to give credit to Lakshmi. She's an outstanding mother. We have an outstanding school for Gayatri called RD in Goa. And Gayatri Touchwood has turned out to be a fine person till now. In the sense, she's independent,
Which means
as
that
she should be.
your influence
No,
hasn't
no.
worked.
It's her. No. See, ये the biggest mistake parents में मेरे ऊपर गया ना मेरा बच्चा है मेरी तरह शेर है कोई शेर नहीं होता. They all make their own destiny. We just provide the apparatus. We provide the wherewithal.
But tell me, let me delve into this relationships. Why did you marry so late? You had an earlier marriage, it broke off, then you didn't think about marriage. Tell me a little bit about that.
So Lakshmi, I met in 2015 uh, at a Women in the World Summit in Delhi. And I really
And
found
she's
her.
an international model.
Yeah, but to be honest, I didn't know. And
Yeah.
neither did she know who I was, which is good. And when she came out
I'm
after
so
a
glad
session,
that she didn't know who you
which
were.
is good.
Just because you didn't know who she was.
Exactly. So when she came off
That's
stage,
equality.
there's a friend of ours, Anahita Dondi. Yeah, Anahita Dondi. So I asked Anahita, I said, who's she? Oh, you don't know? You're a supermodel. When I went to the loo, Lakshmi, who's this guy? Oh, you don't know? He's always on television. I don't know what he does.
Yeah, actually, nobody knows what you do.
But that's good. They don't need to. Uh, and then one thing led to another, and I found three qualities in her: brilliant, very sharply opinionated based on data, based on fact. And three, my mother was undergoing cancer treatment. And to my mind, the cornerstone of that relationship would have been how she took care of my mother, and she did an outstanding job. That's it. And as far as parenting is concerned, I don't want to, I'm no one to give a lecture. I mean, you've raised two good boys. I think it's what, you tell them and how much time you spend and how much you converse. I remember my
But you
grandmother.
travel so much. How much time do you
I
spend?
have a lot of time. I was just there in Goa for almost 14 days at a stretch, and which is a lot. See, it's not about how much time you spend. It's
The
about
quality.
the quality of time you spend. In September, Gayatri and I are going on a holiday. It's a Ganesh Chaturthi break. Then I'm taking her October 16 to 20 to Calcutta for the pujos. Father and daughter time. Thing is, they must know what you believe in. There's an outstanding quotation many, many decades ago, which is about it's 3 lines on parenting. If I remember right, it says that parents should always argue in front of their children. Parents must always have very sharp, independent opinions. And parents must encourage a very, very fierce loyalty, either to pets or family. And why argue? Because then the child knows that he or she can have an opinion that they can hold. That it is not कि भाई आप provider हो घर के या आप patriarch हो आपका opinion चलेगा. Important things. Which is why it's very
पर पुराने
critical.
जमाने में तो सामने बच्चों के लड़ना बुरा माना जाता था.
वही तो हमारा पागलपन है ना. हमारे पास नॉलेज नहीं है. हमारे पास यही है हाँ भाई नहीं लड़ो इनके सामने फिर they won't respect. I don't mean have a physical fight. I'm saying have different opinions. And that is absolutely permissible and that should be encouraged. You don't want people to become cookie cutters here or enslaved to one ideology or one thought. Like Gayatri asked me, should I learn Malayalam? I said, if it pleases you, must. Learning any language helps because language is the gateway to the culture. I speak fluent Bengali. It helps me understand Bengali literature, Bengali cinema, Bengali history much better than if I didn't know the language. So that's how it is.
So how many languages do you
I
know?
speak Bengali, Punjabi, Hindi, English.
French?
4. French nahi.
You spend most of your time in some of these.
But London doesn't speak French yet.
Acha, Paris is not one of your hotspots.
I mean, I do, but French is a difficult language, by the way.
Yes, it is. It is.
And I'm not interested in learning. I'm 63. Now I'm, as they say,
Over the hill?
not over the hill.
That
I'm
you
now-
will never say because you're still a Casanova.
No, I'm now at a time where I'm at peace. I want to retire. I want to spend time.
Looking at the hills.
Why not? Please understand.
But you're
The best
posting
poetry-
your
The best
timeline.
poetry came out of William Wordsworth in the Lake District. Daffodils. I mean, why are we not smelling the roses? Why are we not taking barefoot walks in the forest? Ye sab hum bhool gaye hain. Do you know we go through a park and we can barely recognize a tree? That says a lot.
Because we are all working for a living.
No, it's not about working for a living. When we
Everybody
go on
doesn't
holidays,
have a
I'm
life
sorry.
like Suhel
I'm sorry.
Seth.
People go on holidays from our country. They are found in Selfridges or Harrods or wherever the hell they are. You'll
But
see
there
very
is
few.
another world. Suhel, have you seen that
But
one?
you will see very few people in museums.
Every
That's my other beef with.
But everybody is not spending their life at Harrods.
I'm not saying everybody is. I'm saying shopping kara lo bhai. Huh? What about museums? What about history? What about music? Let me tell you, when I joined IDC Classic Finance, at that time and still, IDC is a great promoter of Indian classical music through Sangeet Research Academy. And at that time, we also had Suresh Neotia alive. And now his nephew's keeping that tradition, Harsh. We had such amazing evenings of music.
It's restarted, by the way. Ibtida and some
Now,
of
let me
these
tell you,
things.
there's a guy called Omar Haider in Goa who started Malhar and the Sea 3 years ago. This year, it was between July 24 and 26. Magnificent. Dagar brothers, Shujat Hussain. Last year, Malini Avasti. These are the Ranjani sisters. आप कहाँ ये सब एक्सपीरियंस करोगे? अगर ये आपने छोड़ दिया, आपके जो संस्कार हैं, आपकी जो संस्कृति है, आपने इसको ही छोड़ दिया, what will you?
इसीलिए कैकोफोनी चाहता है.
ज़्यादा है. And I don't want to say it's not my place or my status or even my right. I think our priorities have changed. Because our lives have changed.
How?
I don't think we are comfortable in our own skin anymore. I don't, people ask me, oh, you travel so much. I'm very happy. I'm very happy being
But
alone.
you, of course, your timeline is full of first
No.
class lounges,
No.
breakfasts in
Yeah,
Four
but this is all
Seasons.
I've earned. But it's not, I've not stolen from Times Now. So, ye bhi baat hai na. I've not stolen from you. Thing is, you must live well if you can afford it. If you're not stealing.
Ordinary.
If you're not stealing. And
But you love, you justify Vijay Mallya.
No, I've never justified Vijay Mallya. And one
Aapka
thing I will
dost
say,
hai.
no, I will say this, and I said it at the launch of my book, which Arun Jaitley did. It was in 2015 or 2016, when someone asked, oh, Vijay Mallya. I said, the problem is, in India, we castigate failure. I don't think, I may be wrong, I don't think Vijay Mallya is a crook or ever was. I don't think so. He ran great businesses. He built great brands. To this day, people will tell you Kingfisher Airlines was a great brand. What happened, I'm not privy to. But I will never, ever say he was a crook. Did he siphon money off? I don't know. And if the courts can prove it, well and good. But why do you wash away every good thing the man has ever done? Why?
We crucify people too easily, you're
No.
saying?
It's not about that. We need...
पर आपने भी तो किया था ITC के साथ. You had a long legal battle.
No, I didn't have a legal battle. They filed a case.
हाँ,
And
some
that was
200
again...
crores.
No, 800. That was
800 crores.
Yeah, but that was, to my mind, Mr. Deveshwar was right. It's been said. See, I was running a column in those days, which was really popular, called Survival Strategies for the Telegraph Graffiti. And in one of them, I said, Yogi Devesh will be chairman eternus of ITC. So he took out one case on that and one case on something else. But to be fair, I met his wife recently and I told Bharti, Mrs. Deveshwar, I said, look, whatever's happened has happened. See, I'm
You
not the-
apologize?
No, I didn't apologize. But I did say, I'm sorry if he felt hurt because he's passed. And I did say that he was a very fine man. Look, Navika, I have never had any issue in saying that I'm wrong if I'm wrong. In the ITC case, that's what happened. I have praised ITC then and even now.
You had a advertising company, Equus, and you wrote these lines. Tell me some of the
No,
best.
that my brother wrote, to be fair. Bakwas Advertising First Class Bread, that was for Harvest Gold. My brother Swapan ran a brilliant campaign for CLO, for Daewoo Motors.
Mhm.
And Equus is a great agency, which we started. Martin Sorrell took a 30%
So he did all
stake.
the intelligent work and you did the marketing.
Correct. If that's what you believe. And
I'm
totally-
asking
No,
you.
you're
I'm
totally
the
right.
interviewer.
No, you're totally right.
You should be. You recommended to me that satire is a good form.
I'm
We
telling
should all
you,
appreciate
Satire
it.
is an exalted form of wit. Just to
So I'm just
What-
asking you.
No.
I've just gotten under your skin, Suhel.
Not at
You
all.
think only you have that license?
you haven't gotten under my skin. This reminds me of that movie Anger Management, where someone tells Adam Sandler, "But why are you angry?" He says, "But I'm not angry." No, but stay calm. He says, "But I am calm." No, you're not calm. But I am calm. See, there you're angry. So don't play that trick with me. Equus was a great agency. My dearest friend Piyush Pandey was alive then, and I decided to leave. And here I have to tell you a story that when I was walking out, Mr. Tada and KK, Mr. Krishna Kumar, were walking out of the Taj. They must have been at the chamber. What kind of a silly email have you sent that you're retiring? I decided to retire in 2006. And then I told R&D, I said, if I come back to work, I only want to do marketing. And to be fair, and here I have to thank Mr. Krishna Kumar. He says, you start with the Taj. And that's how Counselage was born. So it was born thanks to KK and R&D.
There have been. I mean, controversy follows you everywhere, wherever you go. How do you deal with it?
Nothing. If I've done something wrong, I will say it. If I haven't done anything wrong, I won't. And see, let me tell you, when I left advertising, advertising was undergoing deep decline. Today, and check with all the auditors or the figures, today advertising agencies are being paid a pittance by clients. And I even wrote about this. You know, in our time, Navika, when let's say Rusi Modi was chairman Tata Steel, Aditya Kashyap was deputy M, you walked in, they respected you, you respected them.
It doesn't work like that.
Not at all. Today, agencies are willing to crawl when asked to walk because there is fierce competition. I'm a great believer the day you drop price, you drop value. Today, agencies are willing to work for a pittance.
But it
And
is
when
a
you pay
competitive world out
no,
there.
No. But Navika, when you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. And that is why you're seeing the decline. Today, clients are going to independent agencies, which are one man, two member, three women shows. And they're getting great work. They're not going to only the traditional agencies. Let me tell you, I mean, he's no longer with us. But Piyush Pandey would have shone anywhere.
That's true.
Ogilvy needed him. He didn't need Ogilvy. But look at the brilliant farewell that Ogilvy gave him. I mean, that tells you about the advertising of those days. Now, I know कि सब बोलते हमारे ज़माने में तो चीज़ें बहुत अच्छी थी. Advertising has taken a dip.
Every walk of life, values have changed.
And why not? That's evolution. That's what's called evolution.
But is it evolution for the better or the worse?
We won't know. Because you and I can't take a judgment call on that.
Hindsight.
Because the people who are experiencing it will be the ones who will live
What
to
do you think
tell the
about
tale.
Gen Z? Your daughter would be what, Gen Alpha?
I don't know. By the time she grows up, they may not have an alphabet left because there are so many alphabets that see, frankly, there's this whole debate about Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen this, Gen that. I think you've just got to be a gen human being and a gem of a human. It doesn't matter Z, alpha, ye wo. Some people in parliament, Delulu, this, that, OMW.
You don't like the lingo?
I hate abbreviations because I'm a classicist. I believe English must be
So
spoken
you don't
as
talk
it should.
about FOMO? You don't get FOMO?
Well, A, I don't get FOMO, and I don't certainly talk about the fear of missing out because I don't get it.
And Riz?
What
Do you
is
have the
Riz?
Riz?
What is Riz?
You don't know Riz?
No.
Then you're not with it.
What is Riz?
Riz means charisma and the aura.
Well,
And
I have charisma, but I don't have Riz. You have Riz?
I don't. I have nothing.
Well,
I'm nothing. I'm a simple human being.
the people who say I'm a simple human being are the most complex.
Ab theek hai. You can make anything.
You see, like to quote.
You're a Wordsworth.
No, as you wanted to quote me to quote Shakespeare. In Julius Caesar, it was said of Julius Caesar, when you said that Julius Caesar couldn't be flattered, he was most flattered. So that's your Riz.
That's my Riz. Okay. But I have a rapid fire for you because
So soon. You're finishing so soon.
No, I mean,
Joking.
ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਮਾਤਾ ਦੀ ਚੌਕੀ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲੈਨੇ ਆ
Heavy kar lo.
ਹਾਂ because
I went
the
to Vaishno
Punjabi
Devi
ne-
in March.
yeah okay so is that also a brand line
ਇੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਲਵਾਂਗੇ.
no, but I'm just saying so what do you like better? Do you like your eggs Benedict or do you like the puri chole of Amritsar?
I'm a very simple person.
Okay.
You know that. Every time I've told you, just make mutton curry and chapati. When I go to Amritsar, I go to 3 places. Kana, Mehr di Hatti, and Surjit the Tikke. When I'm in Calcutta, I get my chicken kalia, the curry from Royal. I get chicken bharta from Qualities. And Golbari's kosha mangsho. I'm very happy.
I thought ITC Taj se niche aap baat nahi karte ho.
I mean, they have excellent food, but I still like the restaurants which have existed for ages. In Calcutta, I will still have my puchkas, I'll still have the ghugni,
Yeah.
I'll still go to
Jhalmuri?
Bhogal for chole bhature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll still have my puri aloo on a Sunday from Chenaram. But I don't change and I don't want to change.
And what about all those controversies that have come up in your life about women, about this, that?
You know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Right?
Yeah.
People like to talk about you.
No, I think people like to talk about anyone. So I really don't care.
Let me ask you a rapid fire. One word for the Cockroach Janata Party and the branding that they
Disruptor.
should Abhijit Dipke, Saurav Das, Ashutosh Ranka be taken seriously?
Absolutely. You've taken them seriously. Your reporters
The
have gone
government
and
has.
interviewed them. Government has. Why not?
Your favorite Gen Z slang?
Riz.
Riz, which you just learned. Aura farming, what does that mean to you?
What?
Aura farming.
What the hell is that?
It's called trying to appear effortlessly cool, mysterious, or charismatic.
Well, the only farming I know is what happens in the Kates. This aura farming bit I haven't heard of.
You haven't heard of. Acha, you're not reading enough, I guess.
No, well, I'm reading, but not this kind of.
Is Rahul Gandhi Dililu in believing that he can be the next prime minister?
Not at all. Every man and woman can aspire to achieve what he or she wishes to achieve. It's another matter whether it'll happen or not. But look, let me tell you, aspiration or ummeed pe duniya kaayam hai. To say someone is Dilulu, someone is this, someone. Remember, I'll give you a quick history lesson. Huh? Other than Jawaharlal Nehru, India has never predicted a future prime minister. Let's go step by step. Nehru died on the 27th of May, 1964. 1964. You then had Lal Bahadur Shastri. Everyone thought Indira Gandhi. Then you had Gulzari Lal Nanda. Then you had Indira Gandhi. At that point, everyone thought Morarji Desai. Indira Gandhi demitted office in 77, after the emergency. Between 77 and, let's say, 91, when Narasimha Rao took over, you had Charan Singh, Chandrasekhar, VP Singh, Rajiv Gandhi, Deva Gowda. Mr. Vajpayee ran a 13-day government in one of his three governments. Then you had Mr. Vajpayee. Whose turn was it?
13 months.
Advani's. When Vajpayee demitted office, which he shouldn't have, I think India Shining was a despicable campaign, which they should have never run. I wrote about it in April of 2004.
You didn't write that?
Not at all. It was a silly, stupid, mocking campaign on the less privileged of India. Then you had Dr. Manmohan Singh. It wasn't, no one imagined he'd be. When Mr. Modi's turn came, again, everyone thought it would be Mr. Advani. So India has never predicted a future prime minister. So don't fall for that trap ki bhai A banega. You never know kaun banega.
Who has the most riz? Rahul Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav, Vijay.
Rahul Gandhi.
Most riz? Okay. Who wins the aura farming? Home Minister Amit Shah or Yogi Adityanath?
No idea.
You're playing safe?
No, why the hell should I play safe? I'm not bothered. No one is giving me anything. So, I don't know. Aura farming means that who's got more charisma? Obviously, the Home Minister. Yeah, he's got a bigger portfolio. And he's got great swag. So,
Swag. But Yogi does?
I don't think so. Because Yogi is still not, to my mind, at a national level. He's still at a state level. He's operating at a state level.
Rahul Gandhi has helped the BJP more than he has hurt their case. True or false?
False. This is that typical कि भाई BJP should pray कि भाई वो हर रोज जिंदा रहे, हर रोज opposition में रहे so that they remain. Rubbish, yeah.
Okay, so the BJP makes it on its own.
Obviously, yeah. Try telling that to the Prime Minister. That he's Prime Minister thanks to Rahul Gandhi and see what he does to you.
Does to me?
I mean, in the sense, see how he reacts. Look, every political party is a function of its own realities and its own context. To say that Rahul Gandhi has helped BJP win or the BJP has helped Rahul Gandhi be in place, to my mind, is incorrect.
Okay. Priyanka Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi leading Congress? Which would you opt for a choice?
Tough. And I'm not playing safe, tough. Both have their own, rizzes. To my mind, Priyanka is more amiable and less insulated. So leading the party, yes, she.
Okay. Your go-to binge watching web series or go-to film?
I still only watch Jaane Bhe Do Yaro every time I feel like watching a film. It is the most unbelievable film of our times.
I know. What a film. Sai Paranj pe?
Outstanding. No, it was, Arey yaar, it'll come back to me. Ketan.
Yeah. Mehta. Is Prashant Kishore the next Kejriwal?
No.
Why?
It's very difficult to be a Kejriwal unless you're a fried egg with green chilies on top.
Matlab?
He's a unique animal in that sense. I mean, animal with respect. He's a unique person.
Kejriwal.
And I think Prashant would be very insulted if you said, is he the next Kejriwal?
Well, he's advised him in the past.
See, I've advised, yeah. I've advised people. Does that mean I'll become them? No.
Okay. Jhalmuri or puchka?
Puchka.
Your guilty pleasure dish?
Butter chicken from Mughal Mahal, Rajendra Place.
Classic rock or Kishore Kumar?
Kishore Kumar, any day.
Wimbledon or IPL?
Wimbledon.
Matlab British colonialism?
No, it's not that. It's not that. I'm not fond of cricket. I'm sorry.
Okay. Tennis.
I mean, we don't have to be fond of... Huh?
Center court is your place.
No, but I've been going to Wimbledon. This is my 45th year, yaar. Abhi Wimbledon mein latu lage and people are going and influencers are parading around. I like tennis. It's a great performance sport. And Wimbledon is special.
Okay. From the world of politics, how would you rate these people? And what would you say in one word about them? Narendra Modi.
Stubbornly focused.
Amit Shah.
Strategically focused.
Yogi Adityanath.
Purposefully focused.
Rahul Gandhi.
Disruptingly focused.
Focused.
He is a disruptor. There's no
But
denying that.
focused. You just
He's
said
focused on no
consistency.
consistency is different from focus. He's focused on disrupting. That I will take the government head on every issue. That is disruption. And he's focused on disrupting. I'm saying his consistency is lacking in the causes he pursues. That's what I'm saying.
Priyanka Gandhi.
Not yet focused.
Sonia Gandhi.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Right.
Again, it'll be unpopular or popular. I don't give a rat's ass. Mrs. Gandhi, I don't know her. I've met her 2 or 3 times in my life. What she went through, qua her family, and the way she resurrected the party. And let me tell you, Navika, it's easier said than done. It's damn difficult to give up power. One day I asked Vajpayee ji, I said, तो आप कभी retire करेंगे? He gave me the best lines that I'll never forget. He says, ये कुर्सी आदमी 2 तरीके से छोड़ता है. या तो आवाम बुला ले या भगवान बुला ले. अपने बूते कोई नहीं जाता. She gave up. She could have been prime minister. It takes a lot. Now you might say, oh, but Italian, this, that. Doesn't matter. I think her elegance is remarkable. The rapport and the respect that she shared with Mr. Vajpayee, outstanding. And I think she brings a lot of grace of old world political charm. And you must respect that. To say, oh, so I'm looking at it from my perspective. I could be wrong, but I don't care. It's my perspective.
Mamata Banerjee?
I've always had a very, very soft spot for her. I think she's a fantastic human being. She means well. She's quirky. She's impulsive. She's didactic. But she has a heart in the right place. I don't think, I may be wrong, I don't think she has a mean bone in her body. And I'm only saying this, Navika, out of personal experience. People will abuse her, people will do that, that's their problem.
But the government she ran.
That, to my mind, and I've said this publicly, I will say it again, it was terrible. Although she had a very good person in Amit Mitra, who was earlier the finance minister and then became advisor, I think she was let down by the government, by her government. And therefore, it was her responsibility.
Arvind Kejriwal.
Total. As I said on another podcast, my grandmother would say of him, Meesna. ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟਰਸਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ. ਉਹ ਬਿਨ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਬਿਨ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਲੋਟਾ ਹੈ. He is not trustworthy.
Vijay.
But he's fun. I mean, if Arvind Kejriwal was not in politics, who would you laugh at?
I mean, that's rather rude.
No, I don't mean it in a rude way. I'm saying he provides for a form of quirky entertainment that very few people do. I mean, Athwale and him are the only two who provide you constant entertainment.
That's also more rude than the previous expression.
Why? I think they provide you. Look at Athwale's poetry.
Athawale
ji's poetry. Look at his poetry. Look at his rhymes. His limericks never rhyme. His rhymes are never limericky, but he makes everyone laugh. And he's the only guy who has survived every political storm because he keeps switching.
Vijay.
I don't know him at all, and I don't follow Tamil Nadu politics. Well, I've seen him from a actor point of view, but I don't follow Tamil Nadu politics.
Donald Trump?
Insane. Unhinged. Totally whacked out, but not stupid. He's a balloon floater. If you think he's stupid, he's not. There's a brilliant quote by Henry Kissinger. He says to be America's friend is dangerous, but to be America's ally is fatal.
Okay, let's go to the film world of films. Shah Rukh Khan.
Brilliant.
आमिर खान.
Brilliant.
ये क्या बात है?
Why not? I'm measuring them.
वोकैबुलरी कम है, पढ़ाई की नहीं है.
Amir Khan, okay, intense,
रणबीर कपूर.
outstanding actor,
दीपिका पादुकोण.
elegant,
कंगना रनौत.
great fun,
आलिया भट्ट.
very, very penetratively insightful,
महेश भट्ट.
beyond brilliant. Beyond brilliant. If there is an intellectual left in the Bombay film industry, it's Mahesh in terms of his scholarship. Yeah, just, I mean, what did he do with Janam? Just think about that. And he directed Irfan and me in Rogue. I played the villain, Irfan played the hero. You know, Navika, just spending hours with Mahesh Bhatt on the set were more rewarding than any film career can have been. He's just so bright and so with it that you and I can't even imagine.
From the world of business, Ratan Tata.
Missed every day. The epitome of decency, dignity, valor, and brilliance. Missed every day.
Was he a friend or were
It
you
would
an
be-
advocate?
Well, he called me a friend in his letters, in his messages, but it's a privilege he bestowed on me.
Elon Musk.
One of the brightest people to have walked the planet. One of the brightest people. And let me tell you, what he will do will change the course of history, will change the course of how we move, how we communicate, how we're in touch, mobility, all of that.
Mukesh Ambani.
I don't think there is another person who marries scale of thought with empathy than Mukesh does. I have not seen a single other person. And I've met the brightest and the biggest across the world. So it's not an India-centric thing that I'm telling you. And I want to give you a story if you have the time. Gayatri was born on November 26, 2019. And Mukesh and Neeta were coming for a wedding that they were to attend in Goa. And Mukesh says, we want to come and see Gayatri. I said, please don't come to Asaka because, it's a small village, blah, blah, blah. I said, we'll come.
It's not a small village.
It's a village.
Asagaon is
But
the golf
now-
links of Goa.
Now, but I'm talking about then it was a village. This is pre-COVID. Cut a long story short, he says, then we want to see Gayatri. Next day I drove. Lakshmi, Gayatri and I, we went to Grand Hyatt where they were staying. And I have to tell you, the way Mukesh and Neeta warmed up to Gayatri, it was heartwarming. And as I said earlier in my opening remarks, there's nothing he needs from me or that I can do for him that he can't get done. And the next day, we get a call from his assistant saying that, can you reconfirm your address? I said, sure. And a whole tempo load of gifts come for Gaia with a handwritten note from Neeta. And now let me tell you why this is important. To this day, whenever we meet, the first thing Mukesh will or Neeta will say is, how's Gayatri and how's Lakshmi? So much so when they were having the NMACC inauguration, Mukesh said in front of Lakshmi on face, he says, Suhel is only invited if you come. मैं आपको एक बात बोलूं, कौन परवाह करता है? आज के जमाने में कौन परवाह करता है? Neeta is meeting about a zillion people. Why would she remember Gayatri? Why would Mukesh? That is not called anything but what I call empathy and care. And that is something that I value. So, many a time, and Mukesh will tell you, like whether it was Akash's or Anant's, who's going to be another powerhouse. When it was Anant's wedding or Akash's, we would have, Okay, now you are part of the family. You take care of this guest will come or that guest will come. So that's on the personal. But on the business front, and by the way, what I said about reading is totally ascribable to Mukesh. He's one of the most voracious readers I have ever known.
Gautam, Gautam Adani.
See what he's done. See what he's done.
What do you make of the business rivalry that is part of folklore, Reliance and Adani? And how do you manage to be friends with both?
In our country, we have made it a pastime to make people fight. We are even making dead people fight. Nehru versus Patel. So, I mean, what kind of a nation are we building? I can take a bet. If you ask Gautam Bhai or Mukesh about each other, they'll never say anything. पर जो surround sound है भाई, ये कर रहे हैं, वो कर रहे हैं, ये कर रहे हैं.
But
Gautam Adani in an interview.
you fixed a fight between Ratan Tata and...
I didn't fix anything. I was never that and never will be. No. Let me give you dates. October 24, 2016 at 12:45. This is the first time Mr. Tata went back to Bombay House after demitting office on December 28, 2012 and communicated with Nitin Noria, who was an independent director on the Tata Sons board, saying the board has lost confidence in you, to Cyrus. Cyrus said, well, I'll take it up at the board meeting. Board meeting happened. The board requested Ratan Naval Tata to take over as chairman. Ratan Tata said, I agree, but only for an interim period of 6 months, which, by the way, he shortened because Chandra took over on February 17, 2017. At that point in time, I called up Mukesh and I said, Cyrus Mistry has gone. I mean, in the sense, demitted office. Why don't you speak to R&T? He spoke. But after that, look at their relationship.
So just like that, differences or the so-called perceived...
वही तो मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ, होते नहीं हैं. हम लोग, we are manufacturers. And let me tell you the relationship.
कौन manufacture करता?
Akash one day said, Suhel uncle, I want to meet Mr. Tata. I took him, we went to Elphinstone to meet R&T. They had their own relationship. Anant, R&T was exceedingly fond of because their love for animals. R&T made it a point to attend every function at Mukesh. In fact, one day, and this is it's reality. One day, Mukesh says, Chalo, mere saath, I'm taking for a long drive. We drove from India and we go right up to Halakai, to Mr. Tata's house. I said, I'm not going in here. I'm not. He said, no, come. Mukesh went to meet R&T. The love that they had, I've got a message from R&T on the phone, on my phone. His and my mother's are the only WhatsApp messages I've saved. Where he says, in Mukesh, I have truly found a long-lasting friend and his human qualities are admirable. In Mukesh, I have truly found a long-lasting friend and his human qualities are admirable. Why do you want people to fight? What do you gain? A, B, were they ever fighting? You and I don't know. It's, as you rightly said, it's part of folklore. But that's why folklore is always in the obfuscatory area. It's obtuse. It's covered. It's opaque. And I'm glad that R&T and Mukesh became the friends that they did. And when Akash was launching the Jio fiber and those 620 channels or whatever it was, the first customer was Mr. Ratan Tata. And R&T actually loved the kids. So whether it was an Isha or an Anant or an Akash, he loved them. So one day he's telling me, we were sitting, and he says, by the way, I love the fact that Neeta is planning to do the Neeta Mukesh Ambani Center. He says, we did NCPA so long ago, but look at what they have done with NMACC. There's no tinge of jealousy or envy or corporate rivalry. The other guys want to say, हाँ भैया, they hate each other, ये hate each other. पंगा कराने में हमारा देश अव्वल नंबर पे है कि भाई लोगों को लड़ाई कराते जाओ, थिंकिंग कि वी विल गेन समथिंग. यू विल गेन नथिंग. यू विल गेन नथिंग.
Well, we'll call these the Suhelisms for the day. Where next? What next? You said you want to retire. Really? Do
No,
you?
I don't.
Or is it just a line for
No.
effect?
Retire in the sense, I want to do more reading. I want to hopefully pick up a language. And I certainly want
Which
to learn.
one is on your
I haven't
mind?
yet decided, but I certainly want to learn the piano. Because I'm a trained singer.
Yeah.
In Calcutta, you couldn't do theatre without,
Knowing how to sing.
being
So
a
how many
trained singer.
plays have you done? How many movies?
167.
167. And how many movies?
8.
Movies में ले नहीं रहे लोग आपको?
लेते हैं, पर यहाँ तो बाप का रोल देते हैं या दादे का. तो ऐसे screw you.
With a crop of hair
Yeah,
like
but
that.
unlike you guys, I'm not dyeing my hair, na? See, I'm not coloring
तो
my
फिर
hair.
पापा का ही रोल मिलेगा हमें, whatever कलर्ड
तो
हेयर के
आपको
साथ
कौन सा माधुरी दीक्षित का रोल मिल रहा है
तो
या
हम तो
आलिया
ढूंढने
भट्ट
नहीं
का
गए
मिल रहा है?
ना, हम तो ढूंढने नहीं गए.
See, my thing is, I'm very happy. The other day, well, not the other day, about 4 years ago, one very famous journalist looked at me. Suhel, scrambled eggs, they're made in butter. You'll put on weight. I said, of course I will, darling. But you know what? I might lose that weight tomorrow. But you're stuck with that face forever.
That's a Suhelism.
No, actually Churchill.
So, I'm glad you retain your satire, your wicked humor, your lines, and you continue to create controversies.
No, I don't
wherever you
create
go.
it. See, the thing is...
You do.
Yeah, okay.
You
I
do.
don't- so-
It's my job to give the headlines.
Correct.
Don't take my
but
job
let
away.
let me end by saying, and this I'm not saying because you're there or whatever, in you I've always had a great friend. And I will reiterate what I said during the middle of this session. We're a great nation. We're essentially a great culture. We're great people. We need to get rid of the cobwebs of hatred and of anger. Actually, it's not even hatred, it's anger. Many years ago, I wrote an article saying the Republic of Rage. We need to calm the hell down. People need to chill. Which is why...
Now you're getting the riz.
No, which is why you need the distraction.
Chill. That's something
Because
that
you guys
my son
in
keeps
the
telling.
media are delulu. I'm just
We are the
joking.
Solulu
Which is?
solution.
Yeah, right. You're the problelu. You're the problem, not the salulu.
Well,
No, but on a serious note, I'm so delighted to be here. But I'm equally blessed that I'm an Indian. And I forever will remain.
for speaking candidly as ever, unfiltered, and Baatein Dil Se, the way you've done. Thank you very much, Suhel Seth, for joining me. Well, wait for the comments, wait for the trolls to just go after you.
I don't care.
And we'll talk about the controversies following.
I don't care.
You don't? You do.
Give a shit. But thank you so much for having me. And people should read this book.
Just
What the Fish?
what the
India, are we losing the plot?
okay. Since it's about fish, yes.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to that reading. You wrote it on the plane, one flight from here to London.
No, actually, it was written over a week, 2 hours every day. But even one of the other books, Get to the Top, was done over a week. That's how I work, discipline in time.
You're
and
like
out.
instant coffee.
No, I'm like filter coffee, which is unfiltered.
After being married to Lakshmi Menon.
Correct.
you-
Kerala influence. Correct.
Well, we leave it at that. Thank you very much, Suhel. Always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.